Anime where MC is up and surprises everyone.
1. Fist of North Star. Genre: action, drama, sci-fi. Description: set in a dystopian Earth, where everything was wiped out by a nuclear explosion. Such a setting was taken advantage by bloodthirsty ravagers, harassing survivors, and using fights to get rations. Enters Kenshiro, a brave-hearted man in search for his rival, Shin, who kidnapped his lover, Yuria. He is the user of the deadly Hokuto Shinken style. With quick, multiple jabs, any ravager is taken out or rather obliterated. This powerful technique of his attracts the attention of greater threats, from warlords to other martial artists. But I am sure, his powerful Hokuto Shinken will thrive. I mean, it's already a finished series. 2. One Punch Man. Genre: action, comedy, superhero. Description: the story of One Punch Man revolves around Saitama, who looks like an average hero but is definitely not one. He lives as a nobody and is treated like a nobody because everyone thinks he has no powers to defeat enemies. Saitama is always looking for strong opponents as everybody he punches once gets knocked out and is unable to get up again. He needs to feel the thrill in life, and that's how the adventures of an ordinary yet extraordinary hero begin. 3. Berserk. Description: genre: action, adventure, drama, fantasy, horror, supernatural. The story revolves around Guts, who had a very rough childhood. He lived on the battlefields, desperately trying to survive. He wishes to take revenge on everyone who did him wrong. He decides to go on a long and strenuous journey to break free from his gruesome fate. During his journey, Guts comes across a bunch of people who become his allies in some of the weirdest ways. The people who decide to accompany him are unaware of the threats they're going to face, and they're going to be nothing like they have ever experienced before. 4. Overlord. Genre: action, fantasy. Description: in the fantasy game world where manga, now known as Ainzul Gaon, got transported to, a level 100 person could only learn 300 spells, which was considered a lot. Now, our overpowered MC could learn 718 spells by using his special ability, Dark Wisdom. That's too much. He's more like a villain than a hero at this point. 5. Dragon Ball. Genre: adventure, comedy, martial arts, shonen. Description: the series Dragon Ball Z revolves around Goku, a Saiyan who got transported to Earth from space. Goku becomes a superhero and saves the people of Earth from a number of dangerous villains ranging from intergalactic space creatures to lethal androids. He starts a family and meets a bunch of people who accompany him in his adventures and fights against the threats. 6. Midoriya from My Hero Academia. Genre: action, comedy, superhero. My Hero Academia tells us the story of Midoriya, who was born without a quirk in a world where having a quirk is very common. As a true fan of All Might, the number one hero, Midoriya wishes to enroll in the UA Hero Academy and become like him. However, he gets devastated as soon as he gets to know about the absence of his quirk. When Midoriya becomes a teenager, he bumps into All Might out of nowhere. All Might tells him to train hard, and that he does. All Might transfers his quirk to Midoriya and gives him a ray of hope. Midoriya ends up getting enrolled to the UA Hero Academy, and that's how his journey from zero to hero begins. 7. Black Clover. Genre: action, comedy, fantasy. Description: Black Clover revolves around the life of Asta, who, along with Yuno, were left in front of a church when they were babies. As they grew up, they wanted to go to the capital and participate in the exam that will get them to the road of becoming the Wizard King. Both of them are equally desperate to become the Wizard King, so they are basically each other's motivation to be better and better. Yuno has great magic powers. On the other hand, Asta has no magic power at all. When they're about to leave for the capital, Yuno receives the magnificent grimoire 4-leaf clover and Asta receives none. However, soon Yuno is attacked by a guy who wishes to obtain his precious grimoire. Asta tries to help him and in the process, gets a 5-leaf clover and is able to defeat their opponent. Both Asta and Yuno head to the capital, unaware of the adventures they're going to go on and the people they're going to befriend. 8. The Rising of the Shield Hero. Genre: action, adventure, drama, fantasy, isekai. Description: the story opens in modern-day Japan, where Naofumi Iwatani gets summoned to the kingdom of Melromark as one of the 4 legendary heroes. The heroes are supposed to wield the 4 legendary weapons: sword, spear, bow, shield. RMC gets the legendary shield and is named the Shield Hero. He's considered a nobody and after get wrongfully accused of sexual harassment against Malti, the princess of Melromark, he's stripped of all of his money and is completely banished from the capital. Now Fumi gets all bitter and decides that he must get stronger in order to prove that he's innocent. He accompanies a demi-human named Raftalia and a Philolial named Philo and sets out on a journey full of adventures and unknown dangers. 9. The Devil is a part-timer. Genre: comedy, romance, fantasy, supernatural. Description: The Devil is a part-timer is about Satan, the demon lord, who had wreaked havoc in the world of Ente Isla. He wishes to conquer the continent. However, there's one hero who is getting in his way, Amelia. Satan along with his general, Alciel, get transported to the Earth through a portal. As they reach Earth, they find themselves in weaker bodies with 0 powers. Now, they must get used to the ways of the Earth and survive there before they could return back to their actual land. They're soon reunited with Amelia, who also comes to Earth while chasing them. The story revolves around all of their struggles to get used to modern-day Tokyo and their everyday lives. 10. Death March to the Parallel World Rhapsody. Genre: adventure, fantasy, isekai. Description: At first, he thinks that he's dreaming. However, when he feels that he is sane, things get exciting. A 15-year-old in an RPG game. What do you expect? He wipes out a whole lizard army with the powerful attacks he possesses and Sato becomes a high-level adventurer. The whole anime is filled with action-packed adventure where Sato literally obliterates the enemy by making them think that he's an ordinary person. Sato hides his level so that he can live peacefully. But like any other isekai anime, there's a demon king as well. Sato gears himself to fight the demon king and the results are rather interesting. 11. Classroom Crisis. Genre: romantic comedy, science fiction. Description: throughout the anime, Nagisa is very professional and strategic. However, at some point, he is captured by Yuji and is thrown into a rocket to die. At the end of the anime, he still didn't lose hope, but he just resigned from Kurashina and went back to Japan to start his new company. A perfect display of professionalism and how you should never give up. Nagisa has the ultimate power of a strong mindset. 12. World Trigger. Genre: action, sci-fi, supernatural. Description: probably the most exciting MC on the list is Yuma Kuga. He's a neighbor, which means he's half human and half humanoid. Yuma is totally overpowered throughout the series. Everyone would think of him as a pushover and a rather weak character. At the same time, he would do something exciting enough to have everyone's attention and he'd constantly gain recognition and popularity. As a neighbor, he doesn't know much about Japanese culture as he is from another world. His personality is logical and would work with logic, though calm at the same time. 13. Tokyo Ravens. Genre: action, comedy, romance. Description: in the anime, to make sure that Harutora lives a stable life, his father sealed away his powers at a very early stage. But this really made him suffer as he couldn't use his powers initially. Even at the most stressful times when his friends were being defeated inside the academy, he would lose to the opponents. But at some point in anime, he awakened his powers and really made everyone so surprised. After awakening his powers, he dealt with the Shishuku Temple single-handedly, which his friends were having problems with. 14. How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. Genre: comedy, fantasy, eki, harem, isekai. Description: Takuma is known as the Demon Lord Diablo in the game, and using his overwhelming powers he always beats all of the enemies that come in his way. On the other hand, he is always holding back his destructive powers as there's no need to get worked up to kill a bunch of weaklings. 15. Drifters. Genre: action, adventure, comedy. Description: Nasa and Nobunaga are elves struggling to help other elves. As Shizuma is an overpowered character with a man of limitless abilities, he easily makes up his mind to help the elves. What makes this anime interesting from the bunch is the fact that Shizuma had the same power in real life and in the isekai world. 16. Hunter x Hunter. Genre: action, adventure, fantasy. Description: Gon Free-X sets out on a journey to find his missing father along with 3 companions whom he finds on his way. He also aspires to become a hunter. The hunters are privileged beings who have access to some extra funds and secret information that is not disclosed to the public. Gon and his companions all come across unusual adventures to pursue their dreams and become the best hunters ever. 17. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. Genre: action, adventure. Description: having all the properties of Veldora, Rimuru becomes the most powerful entity when it comes to the plot. His ability to absorb the enemies and then use their powers for his own benefits is probably one of the best skills he's got there. The transition from Rimuru thinking that he's the weakest to the world's strongest is the best feeling you'll ever get. Want it? Well, Rimuru is quite happy with his powers too. 18. Hellsing. Genre: action, horror, supernatural. Description: Hellsing tells us the story of Hellsing, the organization that eliminates all the threats to the queen of the country. Alucard is part of the organization and is also a vampire himself and is one of the strongest men of the organization. He must face deadly vampires and ghouls in order to restore the peace of the country. 19. Magical Girl Madoka Magica. Genre: action, drama. Description: the story of Magical Girls Madoka Magica revolves around a bunch of middle school girls who encounter a mysterious being named Kyubi who offers them to become magical girls, granting their one wish in return. The girls accept his offer and gain superhuman powers. All they have to do is fight witches that put a lot of mental strain on them, stripping them of their sanity. Their adventure is N. 20. Sword Art Online. Genre: action, adventure, fantasy, romance. Description: Sword Art Online opens in the year 2022 where technology has progressed well. A game by the name of Sword Art Online is looking for people for its beta testing. Kirito is one of the lucky guys who is up for the beta testing. He receives his shipment of the game and logs in, finding 10,000 people online. All the players are excited until they find out that they're unable to log out of the game. They're now trapped inside the game unless they complete all the levels of the game. Kirito along with a bunch of other people must fight for his life because if they die in the game, they die in reality as well. It's not all fun and games as there will be a lot of bloodshed inside the game.